Hi, everybody. It must be Wednesday. It must be 6 o'clock. Welcome to my live stream. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh. And let's give it a minute for everybody to come on board. Now, this is a unique day because I don't have Instagram going live at the same time because my guest doesn't have the ability to have two screens happening all at once. So if you're watching, that means that you are on YouTube, you're on Facebook, one of my two Facebook pages, you're on Twitter, or you're on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for being with me. I have a very special guest tonight, one that's going to make us all feel, I don't know if it's good or bad about our own health, but also one who will talk openly and candidly about what life is like, trying to have that balance as a mother, as a fitness guru, and hopefully as a lover, because we're all lovers too, right? So let's just wait a few minutes while people come on board. Let me open up some of your comments. As usual, I like it for you to tell me where you're watching from because, hi, Joey, there you are. Hello, Roller Girl from Vegas. How are you? Good to see you. So as you come on board, just shoot us a little comment and let us know where you're watching from. Hi, Lorenzo. Thank you that you like my eyeliner. I put a lot of eyeliner, but I think it made it stick up here where it probably should be blended more. I don't know. I didn't have my 17-year-old with me helping me with makeup today. Who else we got on board? Hi, Rodney from Corona. How are you? Good to see you. And so keep coming on board. Send us comments, send us questions. I would like to introduce my guest. She is a mother of two. She is very, very, very fit. She's unafraid to speak openly about even the most intimate parts of her life. Recently, she's gotten a little plastic surgery and took all the cameras in there, even for her meetings with her doctors. Hi, Jay from Tennessee. And so I'd like to introduce you to Kass. Now, Kass, am I going to say your name right? Callori. Callori or Callori?
Callori. You said it right.
Yes. Like calorie, but in French.
Yes. And sometimes people say, hello, Miss Callori. And I just laugh. Hi.
So good. Okay. So how old are your kids, first of all?
They're 5 and 7.
Okay. How is your world so quiet right now?
They're actually at Grandma and Grandpa's, and I am locked in my room, so my background is not as pretty as yours, and my 3 dogs are in the front of the house, so I'm hoping nobody comes to the door and we can be in silence.
Everything as quiet as possible.
Yes.
Well, it's so wonderful to have you on as a guest. Now, I don't know if you've seen many of my live streams, but we're here to talk about the science of love. Before we do, and really it's the same kind of topic, I think, I want to know a little bit about how you became a fitness brand and what was the thing that inspired you to inspire others?
So I have been an athlete my whole life. I grew up playing basketball. I ran track. I played college basketball. And it was actually when I became a mother, I remember one day I was on the floor with my 2 little kids and my back was hurting so bad. And I've had back problems since I was in high school. And I just thought to myself, I want to be an active mom. I need to be an active mom. Sports, being active is very important for me. So I need to take care of myself so I can become a better mother. So I really started focusing on my health, what I was eating, my core. And then a few years ago, I just started posting my workouts for my friends and actually for one of my best friends and my sister who said, hey, I go to the gym and I don't know what to do. Or one of them said, I'm intimidated to go to the gym. So what do I do? And I said, okay, I'm going to start posting videos for if you're at the gym, if you want to go to the gym, but you don't know what to do, or if you're at home, this is what you can do. So I never really started posting videos to become an influencer. I was just doing it to help my sister and my friend. And then it was really fun and encouraging to see how many women were like, oh my gosh, I love your workouts. And I was like, yay, thank you. This is fun.
And then COVID happened and we're all stuck at home trying to do workouts in small spaces. And I'm sure followers flocked to you because of that.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how even though I had been posting home workouts for a year or so, it became everybody's reality that we were stuck at home. And a lot of us were working from home, or some of us weren't even working, and we needed something to do. And so it was just so encouraging to hear people from all around the world say, Kass, I love your workouts. Thank you for motivating me. I have followers from Australia or Iran. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so encouraging, especially in an age where we as mothers and women, we can lift each other up instead of tearing each other down, and to be able to help people become better mothers, because we know, and I know from taking care of myself, I'm a better mom. I have more energy, and my kids need it too, especially during distance learning. They need that energy out because they don't have it with their kid, with their classmates. They don't have classmates. So it's really encouraging. It's been very, very fun.
And just to let you know, we've been joined by Ella from LA, Tony from Colorado, Alan from Illinois, Ashke from Canada. I know Ashke, Instagram isn't working. We're not doing Instagram tonight. It's everywhere else. Thanks for coming on over to wherever you're watching from. And Renee from DC, Megan from El Segundo, and many more will be coming on. Sometimes I have people on from various Asian countries because, hi Robert from LA, because they're on at all points of the day and the time zones. Okay, so before we get into your love life, I will go there. Let's end with one tip that you think everybody who's exercising from home, if you could tell me one tip, what would it be?
Drop the excuses. It doesn't matter if you don't have weights. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything. It's amazing what we can do with our body weight. And we have so many resources that these days, YouTube, Instagram, there's so many different workout apps. If you're serious about getting healthy and in shape, drop the excuses. You can do it.
I honestly say that push-ups and squats are all you need in the world, and you're in shape.
Exactly. Just do it.
I do want to encourage everybody. I put her social media. I think I put your Instagram handle up there, Kass C Fit Mama. Is that your Insta? Yep. To follow Kass, and you will see some gorgeous, amazing pictures and fitness routines. Hello, Miami. Hello, Redlands, California. How are you? Okay, let's get into love life. So if you could tell me what you think the biggest relationship challenge has been in your life, what would that be?
So I was married for 10 years, and our divorce was final in March, and we've actually been separated for almost 2 years. But I think I have kind of a rare case because my ex-husband and I are actually still friends. We co-parent to the best of our ability. We still see our kids every single day. We still take family vacations. Our parents are both still married. So, going into marriage, we never planned on getting divorced, but here we are, we're divorced. And so we know, as parents, it's still very important for our kids to see love, even though it's not love with two people living in the same house. And it's difficult at times.
What would you say the biggest reasons for your divorce were?
A few things. I think that when you're in your 20s, the world looks a lot different than when you're in your late 30s, and people change. And I think that they either change going in the same direction and wanting the same things. And no matter what, marriage is going to be difficult. We're all going to have these times where we kind of get off track and then you get back on a track. But when you start going in two separate directions, and we tried for a very long time to bring it back and see eye to eye and maybe have the same goal.
Where were you when you met?
I was 24. Well, we actually initially met when I was 19 because he played at my rival college. So we knew of each other when we were in college, but we re-met when I was 24 and he was 26. And then we got married 2 years later.
Right. Because the research shows, obviously, it takes at least until the age of 25, if not longer, for the prefrontal cortex to completely form. And I always say the only decision people should be allowed to make before the age of 25 is like what to order on a menu, because lifelong decisions. Now, I also want to pull you off, if you happen to be on the divorce guilt train, that, good, that a kind of, the fact that our life expectancies are so long means that even the most monogamous of humans may have a number of long-term monogamous relationships across their lifespan. And what's far more natural to our species is a kind of serial monogamy, right? But we are cooperative breeders. And what you described with your family, having two sets of grandparents involved and two parents involved, was something that has happened since the beginning of time for our species in our species evolution. So the more adults who have a biological interest in those children, the better the children will do, right? So the next big question I have is, what are your relationship goals now? You have small kids in the house. What are you thinking?
I'm asked this a lot. Are you dating? I'm not dating. I'm really not interested in dating because we're distance learning full time. I have a full-time career outside of the fitness industry, and then I have my health and wellness business on the side. So I would say one issue in my marriage when I was married is that I've always been a woman, very driven, and I have a lot of things on my plate. That's just how I run. And a man, a relationship that really needs my attention does not fit right now. And with my children being so small, it's just not a priority. And if it happens, it happens. But my priority is definitely them, building my career, my brand, setting us up for success. And maybe one day down the road, a relationship will come.
When the kids are older, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice as a wise old auntie here. So I was a single mother for 15 years with 100% custody and $0 child support. I don't know how we managed, me and my two girls, but I had to put dating aside. At the time, I would say things like, for all the work it would take to get ready and shave the legs and get dressed up and go out and pay for the babysitter. And by the time I come home, I'm like, what did I get out of that? Like, I wasn't even interested in it. But then I read statistics that, a revolving door of parental figures is the worst thing for kids. Yeah. And worse, that a child who lives in the home with an unrelated, unbiologically related male is 8 times more likely to suffer abuse. Physical, emotional, or sexual. So I had little girls. I didn't want to expose them to any bad choice that I might make. Yeah. So the other thing I want to share with you from a scientific perspective is a lot of people assume that female sexuality is the same as men's sexuality, but we know it's completely different. And that female sexuality tends to be responsive. In other words, when the time is right and the environment is low stress, then the right object person comes along and we gear up and respond to that, right? Mm-hmm. And so as a result, you can experience years where your sexuality just disappears. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means, like you said, you have more interesting things to do, your career and your kids and everything else, right? And so, but what'll happen is then at another time when your kids are older and you have less stress in your environment, it just bubbles up again. Mm-hmm. So I have my oldest daughter graduated from college in May. My youngest daughter is a senior in high school. And during the pandemic, I met a love, right? Right? The time is right. And I don't look back at those years as ever feeling like I missed out on anything. Mm. I feel like I devoted myself to my kids. And right now your kids are so little. They need you more than anything. That's a primary relationship. Oh, and the other thing that men underestimate is how much we get from the love of children. Like even like someone said to me one time when I had been single for like years, and they were like, but don't you miss the touch? And I'm like, are you kidding? I can't even get them out of my bed. I can't get them off my lap. What do you mean the touch? They're all over hugging me all day long.
Yeah, I talk about this with my girlfriends all the time. Like, what do you mean? I'm touched all the time. Like, I am constantly taking care of someone. So me taking care of someone else. And because I was married for 10 years, I know that a man likes to be taken care of. And I'm sure if I was to date, they would like that same kind of attention. And I would probably be super annoying to date because I would just not give them the attention. I'd be like, sorry, like, we're not that cool.
I'm off the clock. I'm depleted and giving all the love right now. So I just want you to know that what you're doing is like the best decision for your kids right now. And don't let our culture pressure you to be anything different. Now, When you do go out there eventually, when your relationship life plan says, okay, I'm ready to meet a mate, you have two decisions, right? Depending on the age of your kids, you're also going to be interviewing for potential stepdad position.
Yeah.
Or you're going to wait until your kids are much older, or somebody who's divorced and you only see them on their alternate weeks with their kids and you keep it as a separate romantic compartment. Which direction do you think you're going to go?
That's an interesting question because people have asked me this a lot. If you are to date, my number one rule is that I will never live with somebody with my kids in the house. Like you said, I don't trust people. And I hear too many statistics of people, bad things happening to children because of the step or the boyfriend. And I'm not even going to subject my children to that. So number one, no one will ever live with me, and I will never live with anybody else because my kids have already had to go through a separation one time. I'm not going to put them through two. And then I just, I will know what's right. My ex and I have a rule that if the kids do meet another person that we're dating, my ex will meet them first. And if my ex is dating someone, our goal is that I would be friends with her. And if I'm dating someone, that he would be friends with him. We want to show them that divorce isn't always ugly and that the whole thing needs to be surrounded with love, not resentment and animosity and anger, because that's not how we want to raise our kids. So anyone who dates me has to be willing to be friends with my ex-husband. And that's probably a very hard chore. And whoever he dates, they need to be able to be friends with me. So we have a few ground rules, but neither one of us have really dated. So I guess we will cross that bridge when we get there.
And as a model, you have our new vice president's family, right? So she is her husband. She's stepmother to his kids, but she's also friends with his ex-wife.
Yes, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that it needs to be, especially because one of my biggest fears going into divorce was that somebody else could be influencing my children and I don't know them. And so if I'm enemies with that person, that's not good. If I'm friends with them and we can go out to coffee, we can go out to lunch, we can do play dates with the kids together and we're all involved, then that only benefits the children. And then I can kind of keep a closer eye on what she's doing too, if we're friends.
So that's called taking the high road. And I also want you to understand that some people have acrimonious divorces and could never get to the place you're describing because they have themselves such early attachment injuries. Mm-hmm. So their own model for love is often filled with pain or abandonment or conflict, right? And so I really think it's incumbent on all of us to do the work in therapy and figure out what the issues are. Now, you speak a lot about love. I'm hearing you talk about attachment and caring, and you have this model of your parents that stayed together, etc. But sometimes, this is not you, when I hear people say, oh, we had the easiest divorce, I'm still friends with my ex, I think, was there any intimacy there? Because if you don't have passion, you're sometimes not going to have conflict, right? Yes. But it sounds like you guys really did the work to uncouple. What kind of work did you do?
We did. So there was a lot of passion in the beginning. I would not have married him if there wasn't. But over time, as we started to disconnect, we knew that we were going down different paths. So we actually, we did counseling for 5 years, marriage counseling. We tried 2 different therapists. Looks like it wasn't the therapist's fault. It was ours. We tried 2. At one point, I quit my job at the height of my career because I thought maybe I'm not giving enough attention to my husband. And my marriage was the most important thing at the time, and my family. So I said, I'll quit my career. Let's see if that works. We even moved. We moved from the country into the city, so we were able to see each other more. And we even tried having an open marriage for about the last 6 months.
Oh, that never works.
Never works. And so I want to tell you, like, we both came to a point where we knew we had tried. And I think that's why we are still friends. And we can have these, it wasn't like one of us was cheating or one of us just woke up one day and said, I don't want to be married anymore. We really put in the work. So then we can tell our kids one day, you know, mommy and daddy really tried. We did all these steps. We might not tell them we had an open marriage. They'll be like, what's that?
Leave that part out.
But yeah, we'll leave that out. But, you know, we really did try. We wanted to stay together. And then we just realized we were going in two opposite directions, and we were going to continue down the path of not being together. And so I think that's why we can be friends still.
I want to sort of wrap up with one thought that I hope you can add to. You know, there's no such thing as a failed relationship. A relationship is over when two people have stopped growing. And it sounds like you guys got to that stage, and then on behalf of your children did the really conscious uncoupling. I hate to use that term. It sounds so Gwyneth Paltrow, but you did all the work to separate with love and respect. Am I right in what I'm hearing?
Yes. And we tell people sometimes, you know, we had an amazing love story. We were amazing married, and then we weren't, and we tried. And now our goal is to be amazing divorced. Mm-hmm. And our love story, even though we're not in love and we're not intimate, even though people ask me that all the time, are you guys hooking up? I'm like, no, we weren't even hooking up like the last 2 years. Like, why would we hook up now? But like, our love story is
sorry, I feel a sneeze. Don't worry, it's not COVID.
Our love story is just different now. You know, it's not based on our love together. It's based on the love of our children and creating a really a different life for them, and not looking back. And hopefully we're not screwing them up, and hopefully they can look back and say, you know what, our parents didn't stay married, but they still loved each other, and we still knew that they loved us. So that's our hope.
They've got a village around them. And for those people watching who are saying, oh, I wish my divorce could have been that way. I wish I could have that relationship with my ex. I want to remind people that for some relationships, the best thing to do for your kids is to literally cut off that ex. If it's an abusive person, it's going to make your children's life worse. One solid, stable parent is what those kids need, instead of conflicting parents. And you do see couples who stay in relationships, but now through conflict for years and years, going back to court and arguing about everything. And so if you're in that position, don't be trying to be friends just because you think it is the valiant thing to do. Cut it off and devote your time to the health of your children. I think that's more important. Okay, where can people reach you and follow you and find out about your amazing fitness workouts?
Mostly Instagram. Yeah, I do most of everything through Instagram. So you have it right there. So thank you.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Let's keep in touch.
Nice to meet you too.
All righty. Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.